welcome back to my channel, or just welcome if this is your first time here. Um, Before I get started, I want to say, in the last video I made, it was supposed to be an intro video, but I literally forgot to tell you guys my name, so sorry about that. But my name is Cleo, so now that we've got that out of the way, I want to talk about where I shop as a plus-size goth. Now, I personally like to wear romantic goth styles as well as like Victorian goth styles, so that's going to be what I focus on. So if you're looking for more like trad goth and death rock or new goth or cyber goth or pastel goth or whatever style of goth that you want, you know, I might not cover that because that's not really my style. I mostly stick to wearing fancy dresses. So anyways, I want to give my measurements and my size. I usually wear in like typical US sizes. I'm a size 20 or size 2X, and my measurements are I have a 47-inch bust, a 40-inch waist, and 50-inch hips. But I usually wear a corset under my outfits, and with the corset I usually corset down about 2 inches, and then I have a 38-inch waist. And I wear the corset for a few reasons, but mostly because I like the way it makes my clothes look. Since I wear more historical inspired clothes, I think corsets really help the shape work right, just like they did back in the eras where these fashions take inspiration from. Plus they help distribute the weight of some of these like heavy clothes. And so like if I'm wearing petticoats and tights and a skirt and a dress over that and like all these different layers, that can get really heavy, and sometimes things have like tight, uncomfortable waistbands. But if all of that is on a corset, then that distributes the weight across your body, and it actually becomes more comfortable with a corset than if you're just wearing like a regular bra. Now, I only corset down 2 inches, which is not that much. I don't do like tight lacing. If you know anything like about corsets, you would know that like somebody my size who has like a lot of squish could easily corset down like 4, maybe even like 6 inches, and that would be fine. But I don't really like to do that because I like to keep it comfortable. I'm more just going for like just to get the right, I think, silhouette to go with my dresses. Now, most of my corsets that I get are from the shop Corset Deal. I like Corset Deal because they have custom corsets. They make them to your measurements. The corset that I wear with most of my outfits, if I don't have a corset on top underneath, I usually wear a corset from Corset Deal. It's like mesh and cotton, so it's nice and breathable, and it was made to my measurement, so it fits perfectly. All of my corsets that I've got from there fit great. And they also offer a lot of like corset dresses and corset skirts and corset tops where it's like a corset built into a garment, which I like because it eliminates like a layer, since you don't have to have a corset and then that other garment. You can just have it all as one thing, which I think is really nice. I think a lot of their corsets are like provided by the brand Burlesque, but I think Burlesque sometimes lets other shops like sell their corsets under the shop's name. I've seen other stores do that before with their stuff, so you can find some of this stuff on a lot of other sites, but most other sites I haven't seen them offer like custom sizing the way that Corset Deal does. I don't think all of their corsets are from Burlesque, but I think a good deal are, especially a lot of the ones that I got, because Burlesque has a lot more like gothy style corsets. And anyways, I really like everything I've got from them. They seem to be really good quality, they're comfortable, they fit perfectly. For a corset you really want to get custom sized, and like for the price I haven't found a better custom sized corset than them. I think they're really great. Anyways, another brand that I really like and that I'm wearing right now is Pungrave. They are a very popular brand. I'm sure a lot of people have probably already heard of Pungrave, and you know, I really liked them for a long time, but for a long time they didn't offer plus sizes. But recently I have noticed they've started offering more sizes. Usually in Pungrave I wear about a size 4X. Sometimes they have like a 5X too, and like I think either one of those would fit well depending on how I want it to fit. Sorry, I can't talk. But this dress that I'm wearing right now is from Pungrave, and it is size 4X, and it fits well. It's form-fitting, I guess, but it looks good with the corset. I don't think it would look quite as good without the corset. I think it might look kind of rolly, but you know, that's another benefit of the corset. It smooths you out, and I think it's more comfortable than like more modern shapewear most of the time. And Pungrave I usually get from the shop Phantasmagoria. I really like them because they have a wider selection of like the plus size stuff than a lot of other shops do, and they let you search specifically for plus size stuff on their site, so it's like easy to find stuff that's going to fit me, because not everything that they offer comes in plus size. It's still only a limited selection. But I didn't buy this specific dress from Phantasmagoria like most of the other Pungrave stuff that I have. I bought this dress from a shop called Devil Knight. Now, I did not have the most positive experience with Devil Knight. I originally ordered a different dress, but even though that dress was listed as in stock on the website, it was actually out of stock, so they made me pick a different dress, and I picked this dress. But this dress was cheaper than the other dress, so I wanted a refund for the difference in price, but they said that they were going to give it to me, and they never did. So I had to start a PayPal dispute with them. So I don't know if I can necessarily recommend Devil Knight. They have a lot of cute stuff on their site, but I don't really like their customer service. And this dress, for some reason, even though every other Pungrave dress I've gotten has been really nice, and like this is a beautiful dress too, and it's made out of nice materials and everything like that, but the weird thing about it was the neck hole. There wasn't really a way to get your head in. It doesn't have like a button or a zipper or anything like that, and it's a really small neck hole. Like, I think I looked it up, and like the average head circumference is like 22 inches or something like that, and like the neck hole is only 15 inches, so how are you supposed to get your head in? So anyways, what I ended up doing was I cut it down the back a little bit, and I hemmed it up, and I sewed a elastic loop to one side and a little button on the other side, and so now I can get my head in and button it up, and it works great. So luckily it was a pretty easy fix, but still that's a weird thing that it was made like that in the first place, because I don't see how anybody could even get it on. It doesn't make sense. If it was like, maybe it was a defect or something, but I looked at the pictures on the site, the stock photos, and I didn't really see any way to get in the photos either, so who knows, maybe it was just a weird oversight in this particular dress, but like, how did they get the models into it? I don't know. I don't have these answers. I just am sharing my experience. So, anyways, the next shop I want to talk about is one of my favorites. It's Maiden. And Maiden is a small brand based out of the UK. I think it's just like a woman or like a husband and wife and just one person, I think, making all the clothes, and they are amazing. They offer like totally custom sizing, and they can like change things up. Like if you want to combine like the bodice of this dress with the skirt of this dress, and you want sleeves like this thing, they can like make your own custom dress for you. And I've done that before. I ordered a dress that had the bodice from one thing and the skirt from another thing, and it's gorgeous, and they totally made it for me, and it's great. And like, I love them. I recommend them so highly. I think their customer service is great, their quality is great, their designs are beautiful, and they're one of my favorites. Another one of my favorites is the brand Sinister, which I usually buy from the site Attitude Holland. They offer plus sizes, but they go up to size 6X, which is the size that I wear in their stuff, so they run pretty small. So I wear size 2X in US sizing, and I can't remember what company or what country I meant Sinister is based out of. I think it's like, it might be Holland, because I know the Attitude Holland site is obviously based out of Holland, but I shop at their Attitude Europe site because it's the English version, but I'm not sure if Sinister is actually from Holland too, so I don't remember. But their sizing runs pretty small, but I can fit into their larger size, and they have completely beautiful designs. I love all the velvet, the lace, ribbons, rosettes. It's just the romantic goth ideal to me. It's gorgeous stuff, and they're one of my favorites. An interesting thing about them, though, is even though I get size 6X on the Attitude Europe website, I've bought Sinister stuff from a different website before where the sizing was a little different. I have bought it from the site Mystic Crypt, which is another site that I like, but on Mystic Crypt, I think the dress that I bought was listed as size 2X, so I think the sizing might be a little different for maybe different countries, because Mystic Crypt is a US site, so they might have like US sizing for them, so I'm not sure how that works, but you know, look out for the measurements if you're gonna buy Sinister, because it might not necessarily be the same across all sites. But Mystic Crypt is another site that I like a lot. They sell Sinister stuff, but other than that, they carry a lot of other brands and stuff too. Like one brand that they carry that I really like is Eternal Love, and they're like the only place that I've seen that still carries Eternal Love. Eternal Love, I think, has been around since like the 90s, so it's been around for a while, and I think it might kind of be defunct, but I think Mystic Crypt has like a lot of old stock still that they're selling, so they're kind of hard to come by, and they are out of stock in a lot of things, but they still have some stuff, and I've got several things from there that I love. I love Eternal Love's designs. They're just that classic 90s romantic goth style that I love so much. And interestingly enough, like, I've got a few other Eternal Love stuff from my grandma, because she used to wear Eternal Love stuff sometimes, so I've got like a dress and a bodice thing from her from Eternal Love, so that's fun. But yeah, other stuff that Mystic Crypt sells, they have brands like Burlesca, which I already talked about when I talked about a corset deal. And they have Chic Star and Dark Star and Hell Bunny. And I have stuff from all of those brands, but I wouldn't say that they're really my favorite, mostly because that most of the stuff they offer isn't really my style. I think the aesthetic is alright. I would say Dark Star is kind of iffy quality-wise, and some of Chic Star kind of is too, but, you know, they're not bad. But they're in plus size, and you can get them from a lot of sites, but Mystic Crypt included, and I do like Mystic Crypt a lot. And then the next shop I want to talk to, sorry if I keep looking over, I've got like a little paper where I have an outline of all the different shops that I want to talk about. So if you're wondering where I keep looking, that's where I've been looking. The next shop that I want to talk about is Dracula Clothing, and that is a really nice site. I usually wear size 3X in Dracula Clothing, though I think sometimes their sizing can be a little bit inconsistent, so just pay attention to like the measurements and not just like the letter size. But their stuff is really nice. Sometimes they have like kind of tight sleeves, like in the upper sleeve area. I had a blouse that I bought from them that when I got it, the sleeve, it was supposed to button, but I couldn't button it, so it had a little bit of extra fabric, like a flap, where the tag was sewn onto in the inside, so I was able to use that fabric to make like 2 little bows for each sleeve that could cover the gap where like the 2 sides of the cuff couldn't reach, so it looked like it made like a complete band. So it's good to have these DIY skills when you're a plus size goth, because a lot of things, they're not going to fit you like right the way they come, so you want to be able to alter things a little bit, and that's for anybody too. Like, people are not limited to these like standard default sizes. We're all different shapes, we're all different sizes, so it's good to know how to alter your clothes to better fit you. And so learn how to sew a little bit. That's always fun. I like to sew. I don't know how to use a sewing machine. I don't know how to read a pattern, but I hand sew, and I have a good time with that. Anyways, another place that I like to buy stuff from is called Recollections, and it is a historical clothing site that I buy from sometimes. It has a lot of like Victorian stuff, so because most of their stuff comes in like black, it can be used for a lot of Victorian goth looks, and I have gotten some amazing stuff from them, and it's not even intended to be goth, but like my most gorgeous skirt is from them. It's like beaded and lace and all kinds of gorgeous detail, and there's like netting, and just, it's amazing. So I would definitely recommend them. They have quite a lot of sizes from them. I usually wear like a 2X, although they usually come a little bit large, I think, in certain areas, but I think if I got the next smallest size, it might be not big enough, so I usually get that, and sometimes if I need to, I don't always need to, but if I do, I will take it in a little bit. So, you know, that's another reason DIY skills come in handy, alteration skills. You know, these things are useful. Another site that I really like is Premier Victorian, which is another sort of historical fashion site, but not necessarily as historically accurate, more like historical fantasy. Well, Recollections isn't like 100% historically accurate either, and like the materials they use and the fact that they use like elastic in their skirts and stuff. So they're a little bit closer in terms of like the cut of garments, but not necessarily in the construction of the garments, but Premier, but, sorry, Victorian Choice is a little more historical fantasy most of the time. Some things are a little closer, some things are like totally fantasy, but they're still really beautiful, and I'm not doing historical recreation anyways. I'm doing Victorian goth, and I have some amazing stuff from them that's really nice, but they do usually come really long, and I think maybe that's because they're meant to be worn with like these huge hoop skirts, and I don't really usually like to wear big hoop skirts a lot of the time unless I'm doing like a photo shoot or something, which, you know, I say photo shoot, but I mean like me out in the yard with a camera. But so I usually get them shortened a little bit, and they use a lot of fabric, so that would be a lot of work for hand sewing. So there's a tailor not far from me that I take them to, although I don't know, I'm not super thrilled with his work sometimes. Sometimes he tells me that things he wouldn't be able to do where I know theoretically how to do them, so I just don't have the patience to do it with hand sewing, but he acts like he can't do it. But I've seen other people do these same alterations before, and it wasn't that difficult. So anyways, that's just a little tangent about my local tailor, but he has shortened a few things for me before, and he's done a decent job. He was kind of expensive, but still, I had some really gorgeous skirts that I otherwise probably wouldn't be able to wear because I don't really want to wear a hoop skirt all the time, and I don't want to have a skirt dragging on the ground and getting dirty and torn up. So I've had to have them shortened. So keep that in mind if you buy from Victorian Choice, because they do have really long dresses. I'm 5'5", so keep that in mind. If you're taller, maybe that's good for you. Maybe you want a long dress, or maybe if you're shorter, you'll know that you might have to get this altered if you don't want to wear it with like a huge hoop skirt. Another sort of Victorian shop that I like to buy from is Premier Victorian, which is a shop that is on Etsy that has some really nice stuff. I've got like a top and a skirt from them, which are both really beautiful, and they offer a lot of different sizes, and they offer like different skirt lengths too you can pick. So, you know, if you are like really tall or really short, you can get something made to fit you in that way too. So you don't have to go to your crappy local tailor and get those altered. And another shop that I like is hold on, sorry, Majestic Velvets on Etsy is really nice. They've got like Victorian goth slash steampunk slash sort of Victorian-y, neo-Victorian bustle type skirts, and a lot of different fabrics that are really pretty. And they also have like Renaissance fair type stuff, and they're like made to your measurements, and I think you can pick like your waist size and like the length and all that too. And I've got some nice skirts and stuff from there, and they're really nice. And there's another brand that I like called 60s, which is another one like Eternal Love that's been around for a really long time, since like the 90s I think. And these days you can find them on eBay as like Victorian Valentine, or on Etsy as Victorian Vault. And I've got several skirts from them, and they're cute. They're basic sort of Victorian goth-esque skirts. They're not like the nicest out there, but they're like nice basics for like that you can build upon and make a nice, really fancy Victorian goth-esque outfit. And their skirts have like an elasticated waist that can fit usually up to around like 40-inch waist, or maybe even a little bit bigger, but they fit on me nice, especially with a corset, so you don't have that like elastic digging into you, since I'm close to like the maximum measurements. With a corset, you know, it's a lot more comfortable than if I were trying to wear it without the corset. And the last place that I want to talk about is snag tights. Now, they're not really a goth brand necessarily, but I love to wear tights with most of my outfits, so they're like the best tights brand that I've found. They fit me really well, which a lot of tights don't. They're pretty resilient, which a lot of tights are not, and they have all kinds of cute designs. And other than tights, they also have their like chub rub shorts, which are like a godsend in the summer because I chafe so bad in the summer, and I love to wear those under like all my dresses and stuff because they just make things so much more comfortable. So I gotta give a shout out to Snag Tights. I have so many things from them, and I just got some new stuff just a couple days ago, and they never disappoint, so check them out. Anyways, that's all the shops that I wanted to talk about for this video. I want to make a few other videos like this too. I want to make one for Lolita fashion, although like I mentioned in the last video, I will have to do some more research for that because it's been a while since I bought Lolita fashion. I also want to do videos on shops that like I haven't bought from yet, because in this video I specifically wanted to focus on things that I have bought before and have experience with, so that I can give you all the information that I know that could like help you if you're trying to decide whether or not you want to shop from a place. So there's still a lot of other shops out there that I'd really like to buy from that have beautiful stuff, but I haven't had the opportunity to buy anything from them yet, so I can't give you that information. But I do still want to make a video about them anyways, because there's a lot of cool stuff out there, and you know, I want to share the info, and if I do end up buying something from them, then I'll make a nice review for it, so keep an eye out for that.